Pepperoni, an Italian-American invention. We're going to cut this up. If you ask for pepperoni in Italy, what are you going to get? Peppers, because that is what pepperoni means in Italian. You're not going to get salsicce. This is a dried sausage type ingredient that we find in a lot of Italian-American stores and in our grocery stores. So I would bring the pepperoni to room temperature first, because if you're doing this in the food processor, and you have to because you'll be here all day trying to mince this up. So this goes right into the processor. And we're going to put our cover back on and mince that up. You really want to get that fine. And mince it up well, and if it's at room temperature, this will be a lot easier to do. And we're just going to set this aside because we're going to work this into our dough so you can see how finely minced that is. So we're going to start with about, I would say, 3 cups of flour here. 3 cups of flour. We're going to add the yeast, again, 2 1/4 teaspoons, goes in dry. We're going to add 2 tablespoons of butter. Let me get a spoon. 2 tablespoons of butter and about 2 tablespoons of olive oil. So there goes the butter. Salt, about a teaspoon. Honey, another tablespoon or so. And a little bit of olive oil, a couple tablespoons, I would say. You notice I'm just eyeballing this, but you can follow an exact recipe if you want to when you're making this recipe. You can find the recipe on ChowItalia.com. All right, so now you whirl this up. Again, water. Remember, between 115, 120, whirl that up. See where it is. Stop and test it. Just a smidge too soft. That means you add more flour, a little bit at a time. And at this point, I add this. So in goes the pepperoni. Now you know why these are called pepperoni pretzels. Oh, top, here we go. All right. So now you let this all get into a ball. Don't worry if the machine stalls. Let's see where we are. Okay. You can add a little flour on your board if you want to, but you want this to be soft enough because you're going to form that pretzel shape. And you notice we're not doing any kneading at all. It's very soft and pliable. So you roll it up into a log, however long you want it to be, or however big you want your pretzels to be. I usually make about 12 out of this. And meanwhile, you have a large pot of water coming to the boil. You need about 8 to 10 cups of water. So we're going to cut this in half, and I'll show you how this goes. And then let's see, let's cut 6 of these. Okay, we're going to make 6 pretzels. Again, you put a little flour down on the board, not too much because you want to be able to grab this, and you roll this under the palms of your hands. If you have too much flour, it resists you and it's harder to roll. Like I just put a little bit too much flour on this one. And you roll this out. You can roll them 18, 20 inches. You could make them thicker if you want. You could make them smaller. You could make them antipasto size, but just go lightly under the palms of your hand. And I'll show you how this goes together. Whoops, I just lost that piece. Let me just put that back together. Then you take the 2 ends. You cross them once, you cross them twice, you press them down into the center, see? To make that pretzel shape. They do look like crossed arms in prayer, don't they? Let's do that again. Now normally, pretzels are cooked in a lye bath, L-Y-E. But we're not doing that today. We're doing ours with baking soda. Again, 1, 2, press down. That makes your pretzel shape. just like that. Do another one here. I think you get the idea. Just a clever way to use up ingredients. And that's where this idea came from, using up that pepperoni in the refrigerator. But you could use other things in here as well. You could use soppressata if you wanted to. Again, twist, twist, down. There's your pretzel shape. All right, I think you get the idea. Now we need to double cook these. So we first start here in some boiling water. Let me turn the heat up. And we need to add baking soda. Isn't that beautiful? I love when that happens. And now we take our pretzels, make sure they're pinched down well, and you put them right into the water. And they take about, 40 seconds or so to bob to the top. So we'll put those 3 in. So let me get out my baked sheet. We want that lined with some parchment paper. And then come back over here and see where our pretzels are. Bring this with me. We can take them out. And there is our last one on our bake sheet. Let me turn that off because I think you get the idea now. And now we need to brush them with the egg wash. So over the tops, give them a little brushing. This is going to give them a nice shine in the oven. You put on the cheese. This is pecorino cheese, which is sheep's milk cheese. And it's right here. You'll recognize this one is a locatelli coming from around the area of Rome. So cheese, I like a salty taste. That's why I'm using the pecorino, because it has a salty taste. And the coarse salt goes over the top. That's all there is to it. Your oven's on at 450 degrees. You put them in. About 20 minutes later, you go look at those, get yourself a glass of wine, and there you have it.